just taking a wander through the bush, and I thought I'd stop and tell you a little story about a bear that I met years and years ago. I'm 60, and this happened back when I was about, I guess I was 35 to 39, somewhere in there, a long time ago for me. This is about a bear that I actually befriended. I know there's a lot of people out there saying, "Oh, bears and wolves," right? I'm out here. I'm always out here. And I've never had an altercation in any way, shape, or form. Some of you are probably hoping something comes up behind me and scares the shit out of me. It ain't gonna happen, but whatever. Bottom line is the wild ones are afraid of us, big time. They don't want anything to do with us, which is unfortunate for a guy like me because I want to see them. Regardless, the point is I was with my two Malamutes, Tundra and Dusty, and we took a wander out into the back area of the lot here, and I was digging through a fox den, the dirt on the outside of the fox den. The foxes are predators. They bring home prey, and they decompose there, and the bones are left. Well, the reason I'm looking for the bones is so I can teach with them, because I used to go around to schools teaching this kind of stuff, and I still teach, but in different ways. But regardless, the point being is, I'm digging through this den right now. I'm dressed in buckskin. I have charcoal on my face, so I blend in. All my buckskin is wood smoke, so the animals don't see it. They don't smell human. All right, they can't smell me as a human. I blend in, put it that way. So I'm digging through the fox den, and I'm finding these bones, and all of a sudden, Tundra and Dusty, they start going. Three barks like that, three muffs like that, in wolf language, means that they're upset about something. Something's not right, something's not cool, it's not good. Right away, I perk up, okay, what the heck's going on? The only thing these dogs are a little bit, they'll get a bunched up on is a bear, right? Wolves and bears have always had this animosity. I've never really dug into it, and I don't think anybody could dig into it. It's just a thing. It's just the way it is, regardless. Tundra and Dusty take off. Thanks a lot, guys. Where you going, right? They take off. I'm kneeling down on this fox den, and I hear the bear coming. And he comes up out of the valley towards me, and I'm like, holy shit. So he's coming right at me. He's coming right towards me, not running, just walking. And he's snuffling the whole way along, right? And so I'm thinking, what the hell am I going to do? So I decided, okay, well, there's no point in taking off. That won't do me any good whatsoever. So I decide to stand up. So I stand up, and the bear stops, like completely perplexed. He's befuddled. He doesn't understand what this tree is growing so fast in front of him, eh? So I stand up in front of him, and he stops, and he looks at me, and then he stands up. No, he's not supposed to stand up, man. He stood up, and he was only about 8 feet away. 8 feet. I could see up his nostrils. My heart's going 1,000 miles an hour, and the only thing I could think to do was yell and shout and at this bear, right? So he gets down on all fours, turns around, and walks back the way he came. He looked over his left shoulder, which tells me he's left pawed, okay? That means he's predominant left. That helps me when tracking animals, because if I know they're persuaded one way or the other, then that's the way they're going to end up circling, right? The quadrupeds, the four paws, they don't circle like humans do, but regardless, that's another topic. I sat down and had a bit of a coronary. He freaked the hell out of me, right? I mean, he was within 8 feet of me, and I was not expecting him. If it wasn't for the dogs, he would have walked right up to me, simply because he didn't know I was there. And bears are incredibly acute. Their senses are so acute, it's crazy. If you step on bedrock, like such that I'm sitting on now, if you step on this with a hard-soled shoe, they will hear you almost a quarter mile away. They'll hear you coming. Anyway, whatever reason, he turned around and walked away, right? So I'm thinking, what do? I can carry this fear for the rest of my life, or I can go after him. Right? So I chose the latter. I went after him. I walked down through the valley and I started walking after this guy. I was a little bit nervous in the sense that this guy was a young bear. I mean, he was within 2 years of age. Now, bears stay with their mom for 2 years, right? So I wasn't sure if mom was around or not. And it's not so good to get in between a mom and her child. So regardless, the point is, I'm walking down this hill into the valley and I'm tracking him. And I find him. And what he's doing is he's sitting on his arse with his feet up in the air. His 2 feet are up in the air, just like as if we're sitting down, eh? Like the way we sit, if we're sitting on our living room floors or something, or out in the bush like I am right now. So his feet are up in the air, and he's eating raspberries. But he's not just eating the raspberries, he's taking the whole damn bush. He's eating the whole bush, thorns and everything. I'm like, holy shoot, what's going on with this dude? So I sit down about how I'm a good 80 feet away from him, eh? So I sit down and I start eating raspberries myself. I'm sucking on them. And after about 20 minutes, I don't know. I never wear a watch, so I don't know how long it was, but it seemed a long time. He paid me no mind. He knew where I was. He knew exactly what I was doing. He literally didn't care. He didn't care. He just stayed right the way he was. And I'll explain that in a minute. Regardless, I get up. I'm done. Finished, right? I get up and I start walking away. I can hear him following me. He's behind me. It's like, what the hell? Like, what's he following me for? Because I turned around, I started walking backwards. And I see him come out of the bush and then back into the bush, then out of the bush, then back into the bush. Yeah, he's following me, but he's not stalking me. And I'm like, what is this about? Like, do I got a raspberry stuck on me? What's going on, right? I get back to the house. I go inside, my 2 dogs are insane. They're losing their minds. Regardless, that was it for the night. I'm good. I hit the sack. I get up the next morning, I take a wander like I always do. And this time without my dogs. So I'm out in the bush, and I'm walking through the bush, and I hear something behind me. Sure enough, it's the bear. Same bear. He comes out of the bush. Now, he's a good 40 feet away, 50 feet away. He's not beside me by any way, shape, or form. But regardless, he comes out of the bush about 40, 50 feet away, and I'm looking at him, and then he just disappears. He's like, phoom. And bears are ghosts, man. You will not hear them. You think you're going to hear them because they're heavy animals. Nope. Their pads are so soft, and so they are so dexterous in the bush, you will not hear them move. You'll hear a mouse before you hear a bear. I swear. You won't hear them, unless they want you to hear them, right? Anyway, fast forward. Him and I walked through the forest together for about 3 years. In fact, eventually, by the 2nd year, he was walking almost right beside me, either in front or behind, never right beside. It was a beautiful thing, man. I used to watch him go into logs and rip logs apart like they were nothing. He would just dig his claws in there and just poof, pull the log apart. It's fascinating. I learned more from him than I could learn from any book. Just watching the way he does his stuff out in the... Oh my God. You know when you get a bad feeling in your heart, like in your chest, and you know there's something wrong? Well, this one night I knew there was something wrong. I couldn't put my finger on it. I just couldn't put my finger on it, but something was wrong. And sure enough, I was in my car and I saw a bear hanging from a guy's front deck, not too far from my home, about half a mile to 3/4 of a mile down the road. It was like my heart sank, man. Like I just knew. I didn't want to know, but I knew. I check out the bear, right? And sure enough, there's a white patch on the bear's chest right here. It was Blackie. Yeah. This happened years ago and it still bugs me to this day. I took my knife out and I took the patch of fur off Blackie's chest. I put Blackie's fur in this medicine pouch, which I've worn forever. So his fur is in here now. And I have a claw right here. Okay. Blackie died because I was the jerk. That goof down the road, he pulled the trigger. But I might as well pull the trigger. You know why? I befriended a wild black bear. Yeah. Blackie thought, that was his name, the black bear's name was Blackie, and let me explain that. His name was Blackie because he had this luxurious black fur, which I was lucky enough to touch only once, and for a brief minute, but I'll never forget the feel of it, right? Regardless, Blackie thought humans were all right. He did. All he knew was me. He walked into the wrong backyard, man. Well, our backyards up here are, well, mine's 60 acres, and whatever his is, who knows, but we have quite a bit of land, and he walked in the wrong backyard, and he got his ass shot for it. And why'd he get his butt shot? Fear. That's why. Fear. Everybody's afraid of the bear. Why? Hollywood is full of shite. Look at that movie, The Gray. Right there, there's a raccoon. I hear him. He's coming this way. Anyway, yeah, Hollywood's full of shit. Literally. The Gray, that movie. Great movie. Great entertainment. Completely wrong. Wolves don't hunt people. They do not hunt people. They don't. Oh yeah, there'll be a lot of people out there in YouTube world that say, oh, you're full of shit and you're blah, blah, blah. Just, yeah, spend some time out here with me in the bush. Let's talk about it, okay? I don't carry a weapon, never had to. Ever. Wolves do not hunt people. Bears, they don't want you. They want what's in your backpack. They want what's grilling on your fire pit. If you're out camping, like I'm camping all the time, if you're out camping and you've got your food out there and you're not keeping clean and you're not cleaning up after yourself, well, you're going to get visited. Yeah. You'll get visited by squirrels, chipmunks, raccoons for sure. For sure. Those little guys are crazy. And maybe a bear. Maybe. I've been on this very land, on this very rock that I'm on now, and I've had wolves around me. A lot of you might say, oh, this guy's full of, you know what? Well, I'm not, but you can think what you wish. It doesn't matter. Blackie lost his life because of fear. Here's what happens. When you have fear about the bush, fear has the exact same chemical signature as aggression. Exact same. It's identical. Think about your dogs, for example. If you have a dog at home, if you get fearful of something, your dog acts scared. Because he's not sensing fear. He's sensing aggression. Out here in the wild, if you have aggression out here, first off, you're never going to see a damn thing. They're going to take off from you because they feel it. It's that sixth sense thing. These guys live by it. Try to lose the fear. Watch all the movies you want. Fun times. Awesome. Just remember it's fiction, okay? Out here, this is real. This is real here. Right now, this is real. There's no fear in my heart. None. Oh, I'm afraid of people hunting. Oh, yeah. We're in the middle of the hunt right now, the rifle hunt. So if there's anybody night shooting out here, I'm dead. But I'm not afraid of the animals. I've been chased by a moose. I've been followed by wolves. I've seen numerous bears. But never once have I been accosted. Some people might say, well, you were followed by wolves. Yeah, I was. And the reason I was followed by wolves is, you know why? Think about the plow and think about the seagull. All right? Seagull follows the plow. Why? Because the plow is turning up the soil. in that soil is all kinds of old food, such as veggies, and guess what? Bugs. The seagull follows the plow because the plow is turning up the food for him. As I walk through a forest or you walk through a forest, guess what you're doing? You're scaring up the game. Coyotes, foxes, for sure foxes, they will follow you. You won't even know they're there. They'll follow you. Why? Because you're going to chase a rabbit without even knowing it. But he's going to spot it. He'll mark where it sits down. He gets a free meal, an easy meal, because you scared it up for him. That's why you're being followed. Same thing with the wolves. They'll follow you just because they know you're going to put something up. They know it. You won't hear them, but they're there. In the wintertime, maybe I'll do a video in the wintertime and I'll show what it's like at night. It's a beautiful thing out here. Anyway, so that's a story about Blackie the bear. And every time I'm out here, I think about that guy. And every time I hear somebody disparaging bears, I think about him, right? Anyhow, so I guess this was really for Blackie. Yeah. I guess it was for him.